Today, I'm going to talk about which country is better to live. The information I'm sharing with you is based on my experiences, observations, and knowledge between living in two countries. As a background information, I was a teacher in the States in early 2000 until 2008. I was teaching there for 6 years. Then in 2008, we moved to Canada, and all my kids have already established their roots here. So straight to the point, I'm going to give you pros and cons between living in the States and living in Canada. First and foremost, healthcare in Canada is free. It's a public healthcare. However, there are some limitations in that coverage, like you don't get an extended benefits for your dental and massage therapy, physiotherapy, and all added extended benefits. So as a teacher here in Canada, I get all the perks of extended benefits, but there's a catch for that. I pay for that. When I was living in the States, I paid about $600 a month for my health care, and it's actually the best healthcare benefits that I got. I gave birth in the States at Kaiser Permanente, and it was great service. But of course, I paid for that private insurance. Next one is Canada is a liberal country. So here across the nation, cannabis is legal. However, in the States, there are some states where cannabis is also legal. I'm not sure if that is a pros or cons. It's you to weigh that. In Washington State, for sure, cannabis is also legal. Because Canada is a liberal country, abortion is also legal. In the States, there are some legalization in abortion, but there are some restrictions. So I'm not sure if that is a pros or cons between the two countries. Also in Canada, MAID, M-A-I-D, is legal, means medically aid in dying. So if you are in the situation where you need to end your life due to your suffering, you can ask the government to authorize you to end your life. In addition, because Canada is a liberal country, same-sex marriage is also legal. So Canada is very gay friendly. LGBTQ community is very recognized. Another perks living in Canada, the country overall is a clean country. Less pollution, water is clean, free. I don't need to buy distilled water. We have such an abundant supply of water. Another thing in Canada, getting a driver's license is like getting a career. It takes a year for a 16-year-old kid to get their driver's license. They go to a learner program first for 1 year, and then after a year of driving as a learner, they can take a road test, and that's after a year. In the States, once you pass the driving test and then you pass the practical, like a road test, you can get your license at 16. In addition to education, we always give our students an opportunity to experience different types of cultural celebration in order for our students to be aware of each cultural identity. We value diversity, we immerse our students to different types of culture. Moving on to employment insurance benefits, it's called EI. When you are taking your maternity leave, you have 1 year of full pay, and it also includes the parental leave. And if you want to extend after 1 year of taking for your maternity leave, you can extend it to 2 years, 3 years, but of course the salary will be calculated in percentage. So, however, when I was in the States, I gave birth in 2006 and I had no maternity leave in whatsoever. I used my 2 weeks vacation leave, and that's about it. I went back to work after 2 weeks of giving birth. In terms of working condition, Canadians can actually work just 40 hours a week. Some would only work 30 hours a week. And some companies also offer a 4-day work week where you can only work 4 days a week. If you work within a year, you are entitled for up 2 weeks paid vacation leave. Again, in the States, it's all depends upon the rules and policies of the company that you are working. And these 2 weeks of paid vacation leave for working within a year is a government regulated. Also in Canada, it's so relaxed. Canadians always have time to do the icebreakers, making connections before the start of the meeting. And in the States, time is money. If the meeting starts at 1 o'clock, right on. The personal connections between workers and in the States, I don't think they have time to talk about that because it's all about business. Again, in Canada, it's very diverse. There's lots of immigration policies here. You can come here as a temporary foreign workers, and it only takes a year or 2 to process coming to Canada or working to come to Canada. There are always lots of immigration perks like international students, and the immigration here is very welcoming. In the States, immigration is tighter. It's really hard to migrate in the States. One more thing, tax. In Canada, because we have free healthcare and we have lots of employment insurance benefits, the tax is really higher. So in my case as a teacher, my tax is 50% of what I earned. So the first 37,000 of your income, that's the first bracket, you're gonna get taxed 20%, and then as you go higher, then your tax bracket also goes higher until you get into about 50% of your salary goes to your tax. Also, as a side note, my deductions every month is way higher than in the United States. As what I have said, the employment insurance here has great perks, great benefits. Therefore, the deductions for the EI is also higher. And of course, the Canadian pension plan. We are being deducted by a Canadian pension plan every month, and that's also higher, depends upon how much you earn. And on top of it, I also have a Canadian teacher's pension. So for example, if a teacher here in Canada earns $10,000 a month as gross income, your take home will only be about 30 to 40% because of so many deductions. So in the States, there's not that much deductions when I was there. I was just paying a minimal tax, being a teacher there, earning about 75,000 US dollars a year as a teacher. Here, most teachers earn more than $100,000 a year, but deductions are astronomical. Next, perks in the US. The US geographic is great. If you want to move to a state where it has a tropical weather, you have lots of choices. You can go to Hawaii, you can go to Florida, you can go to California. In Canada, the weather is yucky, as we all know. In the West Coast where I live, in Vancouver area, it always rains. Dark, cloudy, and rainy. Today, we're just lucky that this is the best weather we have so far. And then another perks living in the States is their US dollars astronomically higher in value, right? In Canada, the loonies is $1 is about 1.50 Canadian. And also, I'm from the Philippines. If you have a US dollars going home to the Philippines, your money has a higher value too. So our loonie, our Canadian dollar, is so low. Also, in the States, there's a lot of entertainment going on. There's NFL, football, there's Oscars, there's Emmys Award, they have a Hollywood, they have all the perks. They have the Disneyland, Disney World, name it, Universal Studios. Also here in Canada, if you are professional from a different country, you come here, You cannot be a professional here right away. You have to go back to school. It's so hard to become a professional in Canada. Unlike in the States, when you are, for example, a teacher from the Philippines, you can teach in the States with certain conditions, but right away you can enjoy the benefit, the job of being a teacher, same as nurses. If you are a nurse from other countries, you can be a nurse in the States right away with some restrictions, but then you can work as a nurse. In Canada, it took forever sometimes to get to the professional career that you chose. Here in Canada, the courses or the programs are highly competitive. For example, going into a nursing program, it's highly competitive. To become a doctor here in Canada is also highly competitive. It's so difficult to get into programs. As a teacher, it's also hard to get into the PDP program, the Professional Development Program for teachers as well. So that's why we're wondering, Canadians, why are we short of professionals? Because yeah, it's so hard to get into programs in the university. The number of students that they are accepting is so limited. For example, at UBC, where I graduated from a teacher education program during my time, they only accepted 60 candidates out of like 500 candidates who applied to be in the teaching education program. Any profession in Canada, it's hard to achieve. You need to have that patient dedication, resiliency in order for you to become a professional. In the States, they have the best NBA players, they have the best football players, they have the famous actors, actress in the States, they have this huge Hollywood production. So I guess for entertainment, United States is better. Sometimes I would say that Canada is boring. It's pretty laid back. But we have a lot of outdoor space here. We have lots of national park. Canada is rich in nature. There's another turn off living in Canada. The cost of living here is really expensive. Though professionals earn a lot here, but there are so many bills that need to be paid. Insurance here is really high. The price of the houses are really high than in the United States. And also prices of groceries is really high. Overall in Canada, the cost of living is really high. In the last few years, the Bank of Canada has raised the interest rate for home mortgage, car loans, credit card, and so that also added the cost. It's becoming really unaffordable living here in Canada. Unlike in the United States, you can choose to live in the state where it's not expensive. You have more choices, more states to explore. If you are living in a major city in Canada, like where I am, in Vancouver, for example, young couple cannot afford to buy a house. They can only afford to buy a small unit of a condo. I have given you the pros and cons between the two countries. It's you to decide. When I asked Filipinos in the Philippines, they said that they want to move to the US. But I also asked my friends from the United States and some of my followers from the United States if they want to leave and move somewhere. They said they are happy to stay in the States. So I guess it all depends where you are happy, where your family is, where you establish your roots. But this is just an idea of what is better, Canada or US. So, before I end my video, please watch some of the clips asking my fellow Canadians if they want to move to the States or not. Here are some of their reactions. Would you rather live in the States or in Canada?
Oh, I would live in Canada, 100%.
Hell no, I'd never move to the US.
There is no way that I'm moving to the US.
Canada?
Yes.
US?
No.
So I guess I have given you some information about which country is better to live. 100% of the staff members said they would never leave Canada. But when I asked my friends who are now in the United States and living there for so long, they said the same thing. They would never leave US. So I guess it depends upon where you are happy, where your family is, where you are most comfortable with. It depends upon a person, right? We can only choose one best world, and that's your choice, not my choice. And I hope you enjoy watching this video. And if you like this video, please click that like button and please subscribe to my channel. I will appreciate your support. Again, my name is Pauline. I'm a Canadian living here in the West Coast. Bye-bye for now.